hope you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the top of the order queue there. You aren't going to believe.
The following program is brought to you in living color.
That's a turnaround to your right. I don't want to go into the spot, but I want to.
Freedom! Keep your ear to the ground. Talking about the freedom! It's the best show on
What is up, guys and girls? How the bloomin' devil are ya? Yes, it's Friday. Another week is over, but you are here with me on Friday Night Live, and it's about time to let go of that working week, get tuned out of the madness that is the world, tune into the madness that is Friday Night Live, and just get ready, fired up, and excited for that weekend to come. So I hope you can hear us loud and clear wherever it is that you reside in the world, whichever corner it may be, whatever continent, or whatever little household or friendly environment you may be sat in this evening. I hope you got a beverage, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whatever it may be. I hope you're sat down, relaxed, chilled out, and ready for a show. So guys and girls, what a week it has been, as it always is in the world of the Grom. The madness truly is real. If you're an avid follower of the vlog, you will see that the GoPro that has served me for 1,530 plus days decided to give up the ghost on Saturday. And I want to make a public apology to everybody that's kind of been tuning in, because let's just say I've been trying to use the Canon, I've been trying to use the mobile phone, and as much as it's been good fun and just trying to use that different equipment, it's been experimental, shall we say. I just don't feel like I'm bringing you the level of quality that I want to be bringing you, lovely guys and girls. So, yes, on that note, mentioning you lovely guys and girls, it's awesome to see so many people are already in the live chats, and the fact that you're just blowing it up already. Seeing some of the usual suspects, just to mention a few, the legendary Dan Cov. I also see quite the legend himself, Mr. Bob Marsh. I'm glad that I see your name early. Things were popping up. Tom, Cockney Buddha, Dan Cov, Mr. Rick from the Corn Life Network, absolutely legend. And none other than the legendary, like, let's just find the little sound. Can we get some? Yeah, dude. The coffee guy is here. So it's awesome to see you all in there blowing up the live chats. And I say it every week, I will do my very best. As I say this, I'm even going to pull the live chat out so it's nice and big for my old eyes, my old and weary eyes, to be able to see it. And hopefully, if there's questions pop up, if there's stuff going on, I will do my very best to read it out, or at least catch it out of the corner of my eye. But all apologies if I don't catch things. I do always go through the live chat after the show. So if there is little things, and I'll try to get back to it next week. But I just want to say, and I say it every show, that live chat is absolutely incredible. To anybody that doesn't happen to be here right now watching, and you're watching this on a replay, if you go to the comments under the video, and I believe if you swipe left, you will be able to see that live chat. So even after the event, you will be able to get the kind of the vibe, the feeling and the sensation that just goes on in there, because everybody is so welcoming. The vibe is awesome. And I just cannot stress enough how much you guys blowing that chat up is just such a vibe this end. As much as I don't actually tune in on every specific thing, just seeing it scrolling, you guys just being so welcoming to everybody that jumps in there, it's a vibe. And that is what the Friday Night Live is all about. So, coffees are ready, guys and girls. Yes, we have a show. Yes, it's up and running. And yes, the weekend is upon us. For some of you unfortunate souls, you could very well still be at work, because I know there's a lot of you guys that watch from across the pond. And if you are just about to finish or you haven't finished, may it be very stress-free and easy going, and you can get into the weekend without too much drama. Let me know in the live chats, what have you got planned this weekend? I will give you a little heads up and a little exclusive, because we have a kind of quirky little plan for tomorrow morning. So not only am I going to do the live tonight, probably finish up and edit after this live, but I'm going to be up at stupid o'clock in the morning, because we are on the road and we are going south. I'm not going to tell you any more than that, but I will say, if all goes to plan, be sure to tune in to Sunday evening's vlog, because it'll be monumental. It'll almost be prehistoric. Hint, hint, but it'll be monumental. On that note, guys and girls, you know what this time is though. And if I'm going to be super pro and I'm going to try to, like, you know, hit this one out of the park, I'm going to leave the wig behind. I know, I'm sorry. That was too much to try to fit into such a small little sort of intro or segue, or segment, segue, section, whatever the technical term is. You know we don't do things technical here, but you know what it is time for. Yeah, you know it. Yes, guys and girls, it is time for the Friday night news. And yes, I only went with the glasses this week. I didn't want to break out the wig, because too many people nearly had near-death experiences, possible falling off of chairs. And one person said that they think they burst a kidney, which I'm taking as pretty awesome. So yeah, anyway, moving on, getting into the news. Here's one for you rat fans. You know we love a little rat story here on a Friday Night Live. This one is around rats that have managed to get into an evidence room at a decaying police headquarters building and have been eating confiscated marijuana. In the New Orleans police, the New Orleans police chief said. So basically, there's an old ass police station in New Orleans, and the locals and the actual police chief themselves are saying this building has fallen apart, and they're claiming that rats have managed to get into like the confiscated marijuana stash. Yeah, I'll leave that one up to you. I'm not saying anything. The aging offices of the police department in New Orleans are so dilapidated and vermin infested that animals managed to get into the evidence lockup room. Ron Harrison, Global Technical Director for Orkin Pest Control, said he hasn't heard of rats eating marijuana before. As to what they go through when they do, he told the Associated Press that they may experience the same effects as humans depending on what form it was. All I'm saying is it sounds like those rats were having a real good time. If not, somebody else has snuck in there and they're blaming it on the rats. But that's not for me to say, you know what I'm saying. Something like that. Anyway, moving on. In more local news, this week, the River Severn saw its first 5-star boar since 2019. And if you've seen any of the footage on this, it's absolutely monumental. If you get online, it's everywhere, and there's loads of videos blown up on YouTube of this actual day. Some are claiming it's going to be the biggest boar of the year. The only 5-star Severn boar of 2024 went through Gloucestershire on Tuesday, March 12th. It's a natural phenomenon that attracts huge interests from around the UK and indeed the world. Described as the greatest ride on earth, 4-star bores are also scheduled for this week. It was Thursday, but 5-star bores are the ones that the crowds flock for. The largest recorded bore was on the 15th of October in 1966 when it reached a height of 2.8 meters. That's 9.2 feet at Stone Bench. That's gnarly. So for a tidal bore that's basically coming off the Atlantic, surged into the River Severn and then pushed itself to like 9 foot, that's insane. The first surfer to ride the Severn bore was a Colonel Mad Jack Churchill in July 1955. In 2006, Steve King set the world record for the longest surfing ride on the Severn bore, racking up a distance of 7.6 miles. And I think he still currently stands as the longest ride on a surfboard. The pictures, the videos, you've got to go and check them out because these boys and girls were just absolutely having a field day. And it's insane. This one guy, this Steve King that rode the 7.6 miles, it took him an hour and 17 minutes to do so. There is one other bore that I've been looking into though, and this is in Katang River, China, and this one goes off. It basically boasts to be the world's largest tidal bore. This awe-inspiring wave can reach heights of over 4 meters, that's 13 feet, stretch up to 3 kilometers wide, so like 1.86 miles wide, dude. That's just insane. There's a few other gnarly bores around the world, but I'm just saying, here in the UK, you don't get much better than that. One day you might see me grace my presence on it, but I need to get a lot of experience and a hell of a lot of courage maybe before I try to tackle that one. Who knows? Anyway, last week I brought you sports news. This week I'm bringing you traffic alerts. Yes, you heard it here first. The latest news on the largest car park in the UK. You know it, the M25. The M25 this weekend is going to see closures both ways between junctions 10 and 11 in Surrey. This is going to cause absolute bedlam, and it's definitely going to cause me some nightmares tomorrow morning. But enough said. Drivers are being warned of massive delays when the M25 shuts both directions this weekend. And they're saying that it's going to be closed all weekend, and you could expect up to something like 4 to 5 hour delays. Yeah, pure madness. So all I will say, guys and girls, is if you need to get anywhere near that M25 and you're trying to go southward, or if you're south and you're trying to go north, stay well clear. As of 9 o'clock this evening until, I think, Sunday? Yeah, no, Monday. Stay well clear. That was the wrap up on the news this week. There's your... This is basically the what's the word that they call it? Diversion. This is the diversion that they're proposing, and it takes you a whopping 5 miles out of your way. No, tell a lie. Messed that up. It was a 5 mile stretch, and it's basically taking you well out of your way on that diversion. It's gnarly. But that was your Friday night news, and let's just hope that you're not stuck on the M25 while you're watching this. Something like that. Let's get back to that studio. Well, guys and girls, if you haven't already noticed, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit freaking out. And you know that usually means one thing and one thing only. It means we've got a guest. Now, this guest, he happened to make an appearance in last week's live chat. And I couldn't even find my words then when I tried to say we are walking in the footsteps of giants or something like that, or mere shadows in the footsteps of giants. See, I ain't even got it right now. But this gentleman has been on my radar for a very, very long time. He's an absolute legend. Such a humble dude. His accolades, I think, are the right words, are monumental. And to be quite honest, without any further ado, let's get this going. And let's just say, welcome to the show, the legendary DJ RASP. How's it going, my friend?
Hello, hello, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you on this lovely Friday evening, dude?
I'm good, thanks. Just chilling. I just got
You got a
lemon
brew?
and honey drink, so yeah, I'm just chilling.
Nice. Go on then. Just to start it off, what's your preference? You're a tea man, aren't you?
You know what? This is my drink. Lemon, honey, and sometimes ginger, and I'm good. You know, that's my go-to.
That's your go-to. See, I'm a straight
I'm
coffee
on a
guy,
healthy
dude.
tip.
But let me just say, so for anybody that's watching and that isn't familiar with this gentleman, let me just try to break this down. This will also go to show how good our research team is and whether they get shot after the show or not. So this gentleman has won the UK DMC Battle of Supremacy Championship in 2009 and 2014. He was the UK DMC champion in 2017. He was the IDA UK champ in 2009, 2010, 2013, 15 and 17. He was a UK finalist for the Red Bull Freestyle in 2018. He's toured with a number of crews as well as a 12-piece funk band. He's the founder and organiser of Scratch Jam. And to add to that, he's just a goddamn legend. Is that correct?
I've been a busy boy.
I was going to say, dude, you have been more than a busy boy. That's not even to say that, obviously, this Sunday alone, that you're at the hip hop chip shop this Sunday for Slice and Dice as well.
That's right, yeah. Slice and Dice is an event that I've been putting on for a few years now. Usually it's a competition, but this time we're doing just a turntablist showcase because there ain't stuff like that going on in the city anymore. So I thought, why not, put an event on, showcase all the, turntablists from around the land, and yeah, let's just have fun and put on a show for people.
Dude, it's one of those things where, and you saying that there's just not enough of that kind of vibe about anymore. And obviously, we're quite fortunate that there are some record shops still in existence, but that there seems to be very much a slowdown of all of those kind of get-togethers and those jams and those vibes. And it's awesome that you're still pursuing that and still pushing that and bringing that to just a new audience, dude.
Yeah, it's good. There's the guys down London, Super Scratch Sundays. They put on something on a regular basis, but up in the north, we used to have a Scratcher Manchester and Scratcher Bradford, but I don't know. It just happens as and when, you know what I mean? So, I said with my thing with the Slice and Dice, that just happens as and when because there's no like money or budget or anything. We just do it all ourselves, you know what I mean? Just for the love of it, really, and to keep it going. Because, we all work in clubs and bars and stuff, but it's very different playing tunes in a bar than, turn up and doing a, turntable showcase. Is a very different thing. And, it's just a gathering of like-minded people who can just, cut it up, put on a show people that we still do this. We're still passionate about this. And yeah, we're just going to have some fun.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
what it's all about.
Like sometimes I'm too far away from like Manchester, Birmingham, and I'm pretty much on London doorstep because I'm in Buckinghamshire, so I'm not a million miles away. But you're like too far away to hear of the little things going on. And so like it was always a dilemma for me, as in trying to get to the place, trying to get to venues, trying to see things. And you just don't, like, we're just far enough away that you miss the buzz of the local flyers, of the local posters. And I always felt like just missing out because I was fortunate enough, and let's give the viewers a story, and this might shock you, dude. right? So
Okay.
I want to say, if my brain serves me correct, which that's not the best of things these days, the first time I ever was introduced to DJ RASP was, I want to say, in 2006 in Islington Academy at the warm-ups for the DMC Battle of Supremacy.
Ah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that was actually Hammersmith Pally.
Okay, so then maybe it was 2007. One of them was, I'm sure it was Islington.
It was round about that time.
Because
Islington
again,
was
dude,
2009.
like we were just saying
and
before the show,
2008.
you're like, I can't think that far back. But, dude,
yeah, I think Islington would have been round about 2008 period. Before that, it was the last time they did it in Shepherd's Bush Empire was 2007, and before that was a big one in Hammersmith Pally, and that was 2006.
I
So
wonder
yeah,
if
it would have been
was
round about
Shepherd's Bush then.
2008.
Dude, your memory is going to be more than like way on it than mine. Dude, I'll be right. So I remember from my take on it, that was my first ever attempt at getting into a battle competition.
Okay.
Right? And like it was the first criminal offence of the 5 Ps. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Yeah? So I had my rucksack and I had some records. And I was like, bit of a bedroom DJ. I've been doing some scratching, but I'd been using like an old beaten up burring mixer. So I was using like the phono switches because the fader was shot. But I was like, you got to get out of the house. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to get after it. And I signed up to the DMCs and made the trip into London. So already I'm like, this is big days for me, right? And I rocked up and it was just like an afternoon sort of battle, like qualifier almost. Yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
And I remember being there and my nerves are shot and I'm like, ah, damn. And I've been watching some people go up and there was some real good people. And then there were some people that, again, I weren't great. I was not nice when it cut. Like I knew a little something, but not a lot, right? And I was like, actually, I'm feeling kind of like there's a chance to maybe get your toes wet, right? And I remember being stood in the venue and then the doors opened and this dude with like, he just looked hip hop. He had 2 flight cases on a little pull along, like flight cases, right? And he was already looked like he'd been over turntables for about 25 years. He would just had that stance. Everybody looked at him and was like, yeah, man, what's up? And I was like, dude, that guy's deep in the game. Yeah? It was you. Right? And I'm like looking at people and I'm like, yeah, that guy's like, he is the epitome of hip hop. Like, you just embodied it, dude. And I was like, right. And that was the first time that they basically drew the names out of a hat.
Yeah, I remember.
Right? And I didn't know no one. And I'm like there. And they're like, so and so and so and so and so. I heard my name come out, DJ Cryptic versus DJ RASP. And dude, right?
I remember this, man. I remember.
Dude, I got on that stage and I was already, I think you went first. You didn't even look at the records. Yeah. You looked at me the whole way through, just killing it. And I was like, fuck this. And I tell you, dude, crazy. I tried. Seriously, my nerves were so bad. I couldn't even pick up the stylus, man. I was like this. And I was like, screw it. I messed up what I was trying to do. And I was like, you done another, like, the set, because the battle for supremacy is like, what, 60 seconds?
2 rounds. 2 rounds, wasn't it?
2 rounds. And you were just like, just just killing it, not even looking at what you were doing. And I was like, yeah, okay. After I'd been watching all these other people, that I was kind of like, okay, they're all right, but like, dude. And I tell you one thing, like, I want to say that was the year you went real far because we stayed to watch the night, like the actual, like the full show, and
Yeah.
like I want to say Jeppa was in that, JFB,
Yeah.
and I want to say obviously at that time it was DJ Switch, but now it's Mr. Switch. And I think you got to the finals, but I think it went between Jeppa and Switch at the end.
No.
Or it might have even been you and Switch at the end.
No, I wasn't. It was. That would have been 2008. That. It was Jeppa and Switch, I think, at the end.
See, your brain is good, dude. Your memory on this. You are
Jeppa
like
and Switch at the end of that one. That year, 2008, and I think JFB. No, I think Scully actually won the 6-minute.
okay. Dude,
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I
I
think,
just know by then I'd got over the anxiety and all the nerves, and I was just having a good night, man. And it was just epic. The vibe there.
Yeah, it
and,
was a good battle, lad. Very good battle. A lot of heavy hitters in there. JFB, Scully, Mr. Switch, yeah, a few other guys. I can't remember the names right now, but yeah, there was some.
It was
some very
awesome,
good DJs
dude.
in that battle that night.
Like, so, and again, that was my first insight into it to even, like, as I say, get out of the bedroom and get involved. And it was one of those things where, like, once all of the stress was out and I weren't going to be going into the night heats, and I just knew that we were kicking it in London for a bit and then getting to the show. And when that show went off, man, I don't think there was anybody on that night that just didn't just shine. And it's kind of crazy because I went back maybe 2 years later just to watch and bumped into a load of the DJs that I'd seen before, and everybody was real cool. And I think that was the year, did Richie Rough Tone win? So it must have been like 2010, 9? I don't know.
No, Richie Rutten won in 2012.
See,
Yeah.
I love it, man.
You're
You're on it.
Then, yeah, you come back. Because I ended up being in the final against him in the Supremacy, and he actually beat me.
Dude.
So, yeah.
But yeah, and that was one thing that I noticed, because I was really disappointed because I'd seen someone then from those years before, and like all you guys just went back to the hotel and were just like scratching up until stupid o'clock, or you went to somebody's house.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm gutted because I'm hearing this like 3 years later. And obviously, like, I live in London. You guys, well, just outside of London. You guys all live up north, and everybody's just having a vibe after the show, man. And I was like, I had to get on a train to get out here.
Oh, man.
But never mind, man.
Crazy jams. People were like turntables in the hotel room, and then, you know, everyone would just pile in the room and just cut it up, and just, yeah, it used to be good. But I bet the other guest wasn't too happy about it. You know what I mean? All these crazy scratch nerds cutting up till like, you know, 6 o'clock in the morning, drinking and being a bit rowdy. And you know?
But dude, I'm like, that would have just been one of those ones. If you checked into those rooms and you were a bit of a hip hop head, you'd be like, "What's going on, man?" You'd be banging on the door, like, "What's going?" So I was going to kind of take the mick and be like, when I was reading out all your accomplishments, dude, which is absolutely incredible. And like, dude, if I could have gone up against anybody and lost, I will be forever thankful that I went up against you. Because I think at that time, you were already just solid in the game, dude. And I think there was a few people even in the room that were like, that was a little bit unfair. Like, you're a newbie going up against like some seasoned pro. But I'm like, dude, if you're going to compete, and especially hip hop asking you that question, man. And you've got to get out there and you just got to answer it. And if you can't compete with the best, it's not your, like, you either got to go home, get a little bit practice in and come back, or it just ain't your vibe, man. But I was going to ridicule you a bit and be like, you might have, I don't know, I was trying to count them up. Like, how many? Nine titles kind of vibes? Because I know that you obviously had the Battle of Supremacy and the IDA in '09. You had the double.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, dude,
Yeah, double win that year. That was a good year.
that was a good year. Smashed it, dude.
I put a lot of work in though. This stuff ain't come easy. I'll be honest. It took me a long time to get good results. You know, you hear like some success stories of certain DJs diving in the battle, like A-Trap, for example, never battled before, did his first battle, ended up winning the world finals. You know what I mean? Like, very rare that happens. But for me, it was a long slog. It took me a long, long time. Like the first battle I entered, the first DMC battle I entered was in Manchester, and that was in 1998. And I didn't even get through the eliminations, and it was tough. There was like 50 hardcore scratch DJs. It was an afternoon elimination, not open to the public, and it was just in a room in the Boardwalk, Manchester. It's like a venue, and no one saying a thing, and it was just hardcore. You know what I mean? And at that time, the scratch perverts were competing. You had DJ XL competing, Peter Parker, Crash Slaughter, all them guys. You know what I mean? Michael, it was like it was tough. And I was very inexperienced at the time. I jumped to the stage, I had to do my thing, and I wasn't prepared. You know what I mean?
But surely, like, and I imagine, and that was what
it was what it was.
Exactly that. And I think sometimes you've got to just get out there, man, and just do it. And
yeah, definitely, you got to like dive in the deep end and learn. Like at the time, it was like, oh, that was harsh. It was really intense, and you had to speak as well after you did your routine, which I was a young kid and I was a bit nervous about that at the time. You know what I mean? But I'm glad that it was like that, and I'm glad I learned like that. It just put you in the deep end, and yeah, you just had to go for it, do it.
But this is something that, like, I'm not taking anything away from the new school. I am very much set in my ways. I am old, and obviously old is always going to be best in my books. And like when I look, so I've still got my turntables, I still got the record collection.
Nice.
I never transitioned into CDJs. I never transitioned into anything like the Serato or any of the kind of what was the controllers that came out? Like you had
the best apps and the Pioneer DJs and all that type of thing.
I was just happy. Like I say, I was old and just set in my ways, and it was like, and I'm not taking some of the stuff. And again, I've seen you using some of these gnarly controllers and things, and I think it blows my mind for all of the limitations seem to be taken away. Like there's just this like whole new world that you can get into when you think back to that hold of you had to have it on vinyl. You either got sort of like battle breaks or you got vinyls pressed, but you could only then have, you either stacked them up or you had them and they're coming off. And and
pretty much
like,
so, yeah.
I was squirreling down the rabbit hole like early hours of yesterday, this morning, and I was just watching some of them real old DMCs, and when you see these guys and they're just like it's just madness. And don't get me wrong, I love this beauty of being able to walk in with a laptop and have any goddamn break you could ever dream of. But I'm a sucker for it. I like to get into a record shop, and I like an old dirty record shop, and I love digging. And even though I don't DJ now, I still love digging, dude. Are you still?
Oh, yeah, I'll never leave.
Are you still on the dig?
Yeah.
Are you? Because I have
you
you down for being a self-confessed vinyl junkie.
Oh yeah, I love it. Even today, I was in Manchester today, and I bought some sevens. You know, I just can't help myself. You know what I mean? I'll always love it. As you can see, I'm a bit of a collector. I'm a bit of a nerd. You know, I like collecting things. I collect, you know, retro things, comics, vinyl, all that type of thing. You know what I mean? I love it all. You know, and yeah, it's never left me. Even though I use all the new technology, the CDJs and the controllers and all that, and I love all the new technology. You know, I'm not against it at all. I like all that stuff too. But I like playing records too, and I like collecting them. I like owning the actual physical, tangible, you know, media. You know what I mean?
There's something about
that for me.
And I think
It's what, sorry?
There's something about it, like you saying, having that tangible. Like, I'm a sucker for that smell, and I was glad. I'm pretty much guaranteed that you would have seen the old documentary Scratch.
Oh yeah, yeah, love it.
And there's that bit where Shadow sat in that basement, and he's just saying the smell of vinyl, and I'm like, I don't know if that puts us into like maybe we've got issues, but there is something about it, and I love it when it's. There's one thing about walking into a lovely modern HMV with a beautiful stack of lovely, fresh, crisp vinyls. But there's something else about, like, so I, not so much now, but I kind of like, I have an affinity with Hastings. And obviously, like, Hastings still has that oldie-woldy vibe about it. And up until a little while ago, there was a little record shop down a little alley, and you had to you went in and you walked upstairs, and there was a room no bigger than what your mate's bedroom would have been when you were like 16 or something, and it was just stacked with records.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for my girlfriend, we're in Hastings. We're supposed to be having a lovely day by the seaside and doing all those things, and I see the A-frame saying record store. I've got to go and have a look. Bless her. I've got to give her a credit. She was stood with me for probably about 2.5, 3 hours, as I pretty much went through every single sleeve and every single crate under something. And you might appreciate this. I found Mr. C and Biggie Smalls' Wickedest, like the freestyles, on a DJ promotional use only.
Wow, that's a good find.
I was freaking out, dude. Like,
yeah.
I just looked at, I didn't need to listen to it. I looked at the label and was like, and again, my girlfriend's like, can we get out of here? And I'm just like,
you don't realise what I've just found. I've just
So, and this is like, the sad thing for me is that I've always been that guy that like, and it kind of leads me into the next thing. I was always in that situation where, obviously, we grew up in a time where you didn't have the internet. I couldn't just drop online and find out how DJ Qbert does every single scratch in the world.
That's true.
Being locked in a bedroom like some hermit at stupid o'clock in the morning with headphones on so you don't wake people up, scratching away in your headphones and trying to figure out how things work by listening to a record of like Scratch Pickles or the Allies or something, and you'd be like, how does that even work? And then you try to recreate it. It sounds like shit, but in your head you're like, it was close. And then like, so because you now, I know that you run, or at least in an area with like some quite solid DJs, like battle DJs. Did you grow up around people that then like moved to scratching, or was it your own little adventure?
It was my own little adventure. I started collecting records as a young kid, and cassettes. I got a hi-fi. My auntie actually gave me a hi-fi, and it had a tape deck on it and a record player. And what I would do, I'd make little mixtapes, and then eventually I bought some, very cheap turntables, some very cheap belt drives, and I just used to make cassettes for myself. You know what I mean? And there wasn't many people around my way that was doing it. There was one guy, DJ Crow. Big up DJ Crow. Much respect to you. He didn't live too far away from me, but we wouldn't see each other all the time, and he'd been DJing a little bit before me, so I'd practice with him, but he was still learning too, you know what I mean? And there was another guy called Don, and he was a bit older than us, and he used to show us a few little bits, but a lot of the time it's just me on my own in my bedroom with my records and my turntables, just trying to figure out how it works, like you said, mainly just making tapes, mixes, figure out mixes, and then experimenting with scratching and sounds, and if I move this record like this, or move this line switch or crossfade or whatever, I can turn the sound on and off and create these patterns, you know what I mean? And
yeah, dude,
just doing it and doing it and doing it until it started making sense. And you're recording it on cassette, because it was the days before video cameras and iPhones and all that type of thing, and you listen back to it and it's like, oh, okay, that's sounding okay now. Yeah. What did I do then, to make it sound good? So yeah, but I think like that was half the fun, not knowing and just trying to work it out. That was like half the battle, just using your imagination kind of thing, not knowing where to click or whatever. Now you can go on YouTube and see every single scratch that's ever been created, broken down to you, and you could just pick it up very quickly. It still takes time and muscle memory to do it. But back when I started in '96, there was no tapes or videos or anything of like any tutorials that I was aware of. The only time you'd actually see it would be like at a DMC or ITF battle or something like that. And you'd just watch it as a performance and you'd be like, oh, what are they doing? And you'd have to rewind it, but you still wouldn't really know. They wouldn't break down that technique. You just had to figure it out, maybe try and copy what they're doing, but put it into your own style, if you catch my drift.
I think that's where
it was fun times. It was fun. I'm so grateful I learned that way. You know what I mean? I really am. And I'm still learning now to this day. You know what I mean? You never stop learning, whatever you get into, whether it be a sport or musical instrument or whatever, you know what I mean? And, I still have fun learning, the turntablist stuff, the new techniques, and, all aspects of DJing. Not only am I a turntablist, I'm a DJ as well. I like playing in bars and clubs, and I do the video thing. I do the AV shows.
I've seen, well, and I love this.
And, yeah, I have fun with it. You know what I mean? I keep my fingers in all the pies and just have fun with it, man. You gotta do.
Yeah, because that's a nice touch actually. Because this cycles of hope, dude. I've seen the videos or the little clips that you've put out with it on Instagram. And I love it, man. I love this scratching with video, or like, that's nuts. Now, I know there's software out there that you can do that to the point, because I've seen some of your like actual live sets as well, where you've I can't even think of the right words, where you've kind of brought that into the live show now, where you've got like a screen behind you and it's all going on, and as you're scratching, that just pickles my head, dude.
It's so much fun. You know, there's not many venues that cater for that type of DJing, you know, so luckily I've done a few little venues, and you know, they've had the screen and the technology there, and I've been booked to do certain shows, very specific, very niche. Like I did an Alan Partridge show. So
I've seen these clips, dude, and they're nuts, and we'll have to do this. I'll make sure to put at least your like Instagram and your YouTube in the description below, so people can go and check out some of your stuff, because again, I went down the rabbit hole of your YouTube channel, and it was awesome to see just how far that goes back. And admittedly, you look and it says video uploaded, I don't know, 7 months ago, but you're like, dude, that's like a 60-second routine from like 2007 or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just, I love it, dude. But then obviously, like, I'd seen so many of your clips with the Alan Partridge footage, and it's just, I remember seeing, I want to say it was Beardy Man and JFB doing something really similar, where he was chopping up video. And that was, I'd already put, like, I'd come away from the turntables. I was still just playing and having fun, but I wasn't, like, all invested. And where does this software even happen? How does that even work, where you get this video thing, music thing crossover?
Okay, so it's in a program called Serato.
Right, okay.
So it's basically a plugin, like a, an additional thing what you can pay for within the software, and it allows you to manipulate MP4 videos and audio files, and yeah, you can.
So you can just bundle it all in there, and then just cut everything up.
Yeah, but there's a lot of prep involved. You need to, like, to do a proper show, you need to, like, edit it.
I was going to say, I bet the amount of prep,
makes sense.
The prep work must be
there's a hell of a lot of prep. I can see why not many DJs do it. You know, for one, it's very niche, and not many venues cater for it. You know, not many venues have massive screens, and it's a lot of work. Like, I did a Peep Show set, and I didn't have much time to do it, but I had so much fun because I'm a massive fan of Peep Show. So, you know, I got this, this gig where it was like a Peep Show comedy quiz, basically, and they had Big Mad Andy from the Peep Show doing the hosting and that, and some guy got in touch with me, and he's like, you know, can you do the video scratching and cut it up in between the quiz? I'm like, yeah, I'd love to. I was like, well, it's in like 10 days. Can you do it? I'm like, wow, I wish you'd give me more time, but yeah, I'd love to. So for the next, 9 days, I was just like revisiting Peep Show. Good job, I'm a fan already, so I knew, as soon as you said it, I thought, yeah, I know what clips you use and all of that. But yeah, when you prepared in a video set, a lot of it is watching videos and then capturing that footage on your laptop or off YouTube or whatever, whatever you do, DVD
well, it's digging.
Or whatever.
It's digging, but in video. And then trying to find all of those little sweet spots, those funnies.
Oh, it takes hours. It takes hours because you're watching it. And unless you know a movie or whatever, like I did a Halloween set, last Halloween. And it took me about 3 months to make it because it was an hour. It was like an hour and a half. So it's like basically you're editing a film live. Do you get what I mean? So you're taking all the clips, from a lot of horror movies, Jason, Freddy, Exorcist, Toxic Avenger, whatever it may be. and then you're cutting all them little pieces out and adding music to it, and selecting the right music. It was all like Halloween themed, so music that's inspired Halloween movies or soundtracks or whatever, and little sound bites or little phrases from the movie, and just putting it all together and making a set. And it's like, not only you're making a musical mix, you're making a visual mix, but it's like basically editing a film live.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? It's crazy.
You're live editing a story as well. Yeah. Because there's going to be beginning, middle, and end. You're going to have like a 3-part narrative, plus the musicality side of it, plus the kind of video reference side of it. And that's before you've even put your hand on anything to start cutting it up.
Yeah. Well,
how does your head not just explode,
like,
dude?
You're not like, yeah. It's a lot of work, man. You know what I mean? But when it comes together, it's fun. And it's entertaining as well. For something like that, I did it on Halloween in a fairly big venue in Manchester. And Halloween is a big event nowadays in the UK. It never used to be. When I was growing up, Halloween wasn't really a thing. It was all about bonfire night. But, as the years have gone by, Halloween has become like a commercial thing. A lot of people celebrate, and it's a good excuse. Sometimes I find Halloween can be a bigger night than New Year's Eve. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Yeah, okay. Like, people really make the effort now, and it's fun. You know what I mean? It is. It's a lot of fun. I get why people get a lot out of it, and it's people can relate. A lot of people like horror movies and all that. There's some funny parts in horror movies, even though they shouldn't be. But yeah, some of them are funny, and people tend to like it. So yeah, it's a good little show to do.
It's crazy because again, project. I just know how much effort goes into the likes of videography, just editing, even something like so I've done a video every day to YouTube for over 1,536 days now.
Man, I follow your videos. I see the amount of work you put in, and I see, the amount of editing. It's not easy, and especially doing this social media thing, it's, the YouTube thing's the hardest thing to crack. It really is. Like Instagram's hard to crack, TikTok's hard to crack, but I think the hardest one out of them all is YouTube. Yeah, because you keep moving the goalposts all the time, with the algorithms and, where you get seen and, you can get like copyright strikes. YouTube's the strictest one out of them all. You know what I mean? When it comes to like music copyright and all of that, it really is. But yeah, keep smashing it, man.
And it's one of those things, dude. I appreciate that. You put all of that time in, and it's kind of funny because there is this beautiful thing, like you're saying, you'll get to that Halloween night and then you'll do it and you put that thing out there and everybody's like, oh, hey, dude, like that was awesome. And unless they know, they don't even begin to comprehend like that lead up, dude. That amount of time and like, it's nuts. And it's kind of funny because I think it's like the same thing with the battle routines.
Yeah. Exactly the same.
The demand for that is insane. And I think there's this like you've almost got to be slightly unhinged, to do it to yourself. But it's that payoff, man. It's like when you do that set or when you do that, like that gig or that night, and the aftermath of everybody like, dude, that Halloween set you done last year, or like now, that set that you done for that 60 seconds in like 2009, dude. And you're like...
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah. It sort of stands on its own feet in this weird, like, alternative universe. Because there's going to be some people, like... I could talk to my girlfriend, and I was showing some clips earlier of some of your like really early sets, and I'm there and I'm like, my head is like, right, okay, so you've got like two tiny little like chops, but there's four chops happening over two different records in like four different segments. But the musicality is just like da, 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 da. And I'm trying to explain that to my girlfriend, right? And I'm like fully like teched out in my head because I'm like, dude, that's just crazy. And my missus was like, yeah. And it gets to that point. It gets to a point where I feel like we all, I don't know if you do it yourself, dude. I know I do, where you get so like, you're pushing or trying to be so technically advanced that you get to this point where like, there'll be that 10% of people that when they hear it, they get it. Or when they see it, they're like, no, you don't understand how heavy that really is.
Yeah, sometimes, sometimes that's cool. And sometimes the simplest thing, can come across better. So it depends on your audience and what you're trying to like get out there kind of thing. I find like for certain club and bar things, less is more. You know what I mean? Like with the battle thing, that's different. But sometimes in certain battle situations that I've experienced personally, sometimes less has been more. Sometimes I've overdone things in the past, and it's like maybe trying too hard, or
well, you just go down the rabbit
like follow
hole.
a trend or whatever, and it's like, well, that wasn't necessary. When that's what I was trying to achieve could just be done with just a little, a smaller movement.
But this is also one of those things
it's live
that
and learn and it's experience. You know what I mean? And
yeah, dude. And I always found that where like, especially when you talk to some people that I don't want to sound awful, but say that don't have that grasp and now hear something like a flare. And that's what they've heard. So they feel like everything needs to be really fast and really just like, just to the point where the turntable's on fire.
yeah,
Yeah. And then you'll hear someone like DJ Babu that just comes in and it's like just slow and just melts. And there's like a certain rhythm and musicality to it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing gnarly. It is.
You're right, man.
But it's not like...
it needs to be 100 miles an hour. It just got to make sense musically, like you said, and I think some people that comes to naturally. I think some people learn that, and some people get it after experience, you know what I mean? Because we're all inspired by certain things, especially, if you're a DJ of a certain age, getting into turntablism, we're all inspired by, your scratch perverts, your pickles, your allies doing all the crazy mad stuff, you know what I mean, where it's like 1,000,000 miles an hour. But if you really study it, it's not 1,000,000 miles an hour. You just notice them really fast techniques, but to get to them fast techniques, the pace in it, you know what I mean, and then you got to like relate that to your own style, you know what I mean, where it's like, yeah, you can do the fast stuff, but you got to make it make sense. Sometimes a simple baby scratch or a chop is all that's necessary. It doesn't need to be,
sucker for a baby
full
scratch,
clip
dude.
crab or whatever, or full clip flirt or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not always necessary. Sometimes it just got to make sense musically.
Yeah.
I
think
that's just my opinion. I could, other people might disagree
I'm
with
with
that,
you, because I think like that as an analogy, or just that as a mindset, and going back to what we were just saying about the social media thing, and in the society that we live in, so like everything seems to be that it has to be 100 miles an hour and chop the hell out of, and it's kind of, that's good, but you're like, some of the most awesome creativity and some of the most cutting edge things are the ones that are just like left to be, you know. And I've noticed this especially with the editing, where there is like this underlying rule of being unapologetic about if you want to let that shot run. If you want to let that piece be, and that's what you want it. And again, I haven't really delved too much into the music theory, but I've since picked up a guitar and tried to learn other stuff. And the one thing that so many people have said to me is like, let it breathe. Space and that nothing is like more important than the gnarly finger melting solo.
Yeah. Just let it do its thing naturally. Let it breathe. That's the best way to describe it. Just let it do its thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just let it flow. You know, without forcing it. Yeah, it's the best way. I agree.
Yeah, dude. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to speak to these lovely people and wish them all a very well of a Friday night. But if you want to hang around, dude, it'd be lovely to wrap up after the show.
Yeah, what time do you finish, man?
It's been awesome having you on. I wish you like the biggest turnout for Sunday, because I'm gutted that I ain't closer or more determined to get there, dude. You need to come down this way, man. Or I need to just...
Yeah, I'd love to. You know, every now and again I go down London. Yeah, and do some little
I need
things
to pull
down
my
there, but
finger out and come up your way, though, dude, because it seems like a vibe.
Yeah, we have fun. We have fun. It doesn't happen all the time, but yeah, when we put it on, we, you know, get together, cut it up. Everyone's welcome, you know, just cut it up and have fun with us. You know what I mean?
That's it, man. It's been an absolute honor, dude, and I cannot say enough about just how humble you've stayed as a dude that has accomplished so much, and it's a real honor. It really is, dude. So I wish you all the best, and we'll catch up after this, dude.
Okay, sweet, man.
No worries.
Thanks for having us.
No worries, dude. The legendary DJ RASP. Now, I hope that didn't get too sort of like techie, DJ-y, scratchy for some of you lovely viewers. And I just want to say that guy is an absolute legend. And please go and check it out. I'll make sure that after the show I've filed his Instagram and his YouTube and stuff in the description below. And if you're in that area and you want to drop in on the Slice and Dice, go and check out his Instagram profile where all of the information for the show on Sunday will be there. So, what a guest it is. And I'm having trouble, man, because again, I get so excited when I have guests, and that gentleman is just, yeah, massively high on my list as a legend. We didn't even start talking about G.I. Joe, so yeah, we'll have that one in round 2. But guys and girls, I hope you've enjoyed the show. I hate saying it, it's all very YouTubery, but please smash the like button, leave comments, and most of all, tell a friend to tell a friend. But on that, we will draw this show to a close. Episode or show 31. Can you believe it? It's madness. I wish you all a real fantastic evening, awesome weekend, and I will see you the same time, same place next week, 10:45 Friday. You know the score. Have a good one. Take it easy.